All right, Lily, you literally just took the test a couple minutes ago. How'd you do and how do you feel?
I did well. I was surprised I passed just because, I just the whole time it's been a long time since I've done, like I say, traditional project management as like an IT PM and as a business PM. So it's been probably about 4 years. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's been about 4 years. Although I've been in the business, I've my role's been different. So I've still been able to observe it because, it's like just the discipline of project management just filters out throughout every organization, so it's everywhere. You can't really move in a company without seeing the discipline itself. So I never stopped learning about it or, just applying it for myself or for others, just more so from a stakeholder as opposed to a project manager. So, yeah.
So why did you go about and get the PMP? Like, what was in it for you? Why did you pursue this?
I think it was a couple of things. Last year, I had the opportunity. Like, there were several people in my company that were saying, "Hey, we're just going to go get it." And I'm like, okay, I'll do it with you. And it literally started out like, "Yeah, I'll do it with you." Like, I'd go to the beach with you or go shopping with you. And that is how it stinking started out. So, and then what happened was I actually was on the talent bridge. So I was laid off from the company that I'm at. And I just shifted and had to just go find another job. And so I ended up as a PM in a PM role, a traditional PM role. And while I know I'm competent,
mm-hmm.
and while I could still do my job, it was there's just something about being in the same room with your peers. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't ego, but it was more like pedigree.
Okay.
Yeah, just straight up pedigree. And then
you just wanted to elevate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, that is good. And I'm really, really happy that you did so well and passed the test. I know it was difficult, but you did it. So you've been working with us for a little bit of a while. Like, what did you like about the process? What was helpful? I know you did a lot of effort and stuff. Like, talk me through it if you don't mind.
Yeah. So for one thing, how I actually found you was, I think I found you on the internet, and I'm so serious. It's like I found you randomly, and I actually called up a friend of mine who, was learning with me at the same time. And I called her up and I said, "Hey, I got this guy that, like, he can actually explain the whole thing in layman's terms. Like, he's got it. Like, he can explain it in a way that you can see it. Cause, being new to quote unquote PMBOK is it's foreign. PMBOK's foreign. To me, it's foreign, but business isn't foreign and application is not foreign. And so, I just shared that with her. I shared that. And so I bought your book at first. And then I think I bought your book. And then I found out that you had that podcast. You have a podcast that goes with it. So I was listening to you there. And then, and that's when I kind of halted. And then my friend actually went on and purchased your program and worked through your program, and she passed and I didn't yet. So I was so sad. I'm like, great. And she's like, and then she came back and she said, "You got to go do this program," because I was like, "What program? I have the book." He's like, "No, it's kind of different." And so, I think I told you that I had taken probably about 5 years from the time that I was doing like traditional project management to my role now. And so, so when I think I gave you a call in January and just made an arbitrary goal, and arbitrary, and then it had to be before my birthday. Like, I have another birthday. Random.
It's a good enough reason.
Yeah, right. and then at that point, what I did was I went in to take your 7 day. So this is me. This is my experience. I went in to take your 7 day, and I wanted your 7 day to take me 7 days.
Okay.
So
it can be done-ish. Yeah, if you want.
Ish.
Ish.
And so what I did was I went and I took the first one, and I was like, I don't think it's going to go. Like, I can't keep up with the cadence. So I paused, and then I went back and I spent 2 weeks in your master prep, just prepping.
Yeah.
Just going through the master prep, just facilitating through all of those disciplines that you went through, and just each discipline, each process group.
Understood.
And yeah, and so I did that just by myself, and then once I was done with that 2 weeks, I started the 7 day and went through it. And then after I did that, there was something, and then I started taking the tests after I did the 7 day. I do the test. And then the other thing that I would do, the other thing I did once I was done with, all of the tests that I would take, and just the control tests and the different the variations that you had. I thought, okay, now I'm ready to tackle my and it wasn't what was the word that you call it? It's not invisible. It's
evaporating data down.
Yeah. It wasn't evaporating. So from day one, I had this evaporating list that was just building.
Yeah.
And so I just let it build. I didn't go back and think, oh, I understand that now. Oh, I understand. But I just let it build. And so after I did those 3 phases, then I thought, okay, now I'm getting good, I'm passing your the tests.
Quizzes,
the quizzes. And then what I did there was I went back and that's when I dealt with my evaporating list.
Okay.
And so by that time, I understood a whole lot more. And so I literally could take my red X and X off the boxes.
Nice.
And then by the time I was done, it was a really interesting process. And then by the time I was done in the last 2 days, it was more like, just like go through EMB one more time, because you've forgotten that. Every day I step away, I forget it, and then I go back. I was like, I'm a finance major. I'm supposed to have. And then I loved the flows that you did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Then I was able to really assimilate the information.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was really good. Your program is awesome. In fact, I was, when I was talking to my husband, that was one of the first things I was like, thanks so much for letting me buy that thing.
I appreciate it too. And then Carletta actually told me, because I was like in a meeting, and then she texted me. She was like, oh, Lily passed. Were you guys in a group together or something like that? Or did she see it on the site? I don't even know. I didn't even check. I just sent you an email.
Nope, we weren't. I didn't do what I did tell her was I didn't do the groups, because I would join the classes. Yeah, I didn't do the groups at all.
Okay.
I think I joined like 2, and because I think I would do it, like, for example, if I didn't pass today, I would join the groups. I had already decided that's what I was going to do, because I would have to do something different than what I just did. So that was what I was going to do. I think I'm going to go to those things, those meetings. And so one of the things that she had, we were talking about that, but no, she was kind of laughing. I'm like, hey, you're MIA. You're supposed to be able to answer questions. She's like, I'm busy. But she's not. She's like my friend. So she's just, and yeah, she's as a friend. She's doing that.
Okay. That's what it was. Yeah.
No.
I didn't know. Yeah.
No.
Now I remember.
Yeah. And so she's a pal of mine. But yeah. So it's been overall, it's been a really it's kind of soulful experience. I think it's just more than checking it off too. It's just it was actually pretty humbling, because I didn't take the test initially because I don't publish this anywhere, because people would know. I don't want anybody to know this.
Well, hold on. I am recording it. I am recording. You can tell me afterwards.
Okay, I'll tell you afterwards. They're just, all in all, it's just really, had a lot of respect for the people that took it, that have taken it before me.
Okay.
So that's the thing that was really good for me to experience. It's like, wow, those people are pretty smart. They can pass this test. And I'm like, I'm like bracing myself. But no, it was really great. It was a good experience. And I definitely recommend it. I had a couple of folks who, were thinking about it, and I'm like, hey, I got this thing. I got this, got this program. You have to do it. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy if you put in the time,
Yeah.
So it's really good. It's really good. It in and of itself, it has a really great framework. What I think I would do differently is I probably would have swapped out the weekly meetings with and I didn't explore it, but with an option just to do like one-on-one, like just whatever that is, every other week. I've got 50 minutes. I mean, you almost got a text because I was like, I do not know how to fit lead and lag in. Like, I don't get it. I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
but how do I apply it? What does that look like? And how would I use that word in a sentence?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like in business. So it's like, it's not intuitive. It's how do you apply it? And so that was the one thing.
Right. Well, just to let you know, one thing that we are doing, because it's very hard to get me on a one-on-one now, like, not that I don't want to, it's just like the black circles are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But it's good. So what we're doing is we're setting up a weekly, like, first of all, people get a lot of access to me, like the calls and stuff like that. But what we're also doing is all these questions, it's like, it's not the first time anybody's asked that question. So what we're doing now is we're setting up a weekly hour-and-a-half live call where every week we're having, in the new system that rolls out in like 3 weeks, there's a place for every student every day to put in like, here's the 1 or 2 questions that are really flummoxing me.
Yeah.
And it goes into a place, and then I get them all, they prune them for me. And then I go on for a week or an hour and a half and say, all right, this week we had 12 questions, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then we cut them up, we put them in the system. And then what will happen in at least 3 weeks after that is now we have a searchable system with all the most commonly asked questions in there. So, and then you also get to ask more. So we hear you, we're doing it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. That's cool. So you said pedigree initially. Do you feel like you are, I don't know what the pedigreed? Do you feel like you have achieved a certain pedigree now or anything? Or now that you've passed like hours ago, or what do you think?
I feel like, I don't feel necessarily, I feel like, it's kind of like how I felt when I graduated, that I did it and I don't have to worry about whether or not I still have to do it.
Yeah, when you're in the thing, like you get like, there's different, you're very humble, by the way. Like, and then you've accomplished it, and now what's next? Let's not get too high or too low. I think that's just a general good practice. So
yeah,
you should feel happy with what you did, because you did do well, and you passed, and you stuck to it and worked through it, and got that going for you. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. If there's people out there that are kind of like you, that have kind of like spent a little bit of time studying and wanting to get deeper and raise themselves up, like if those people find themselves kind of like plateaued or for whatever reasons, do you have any advice or guidance, direction for those people to be able to kind of jump out of it and get to where you are now?
No, I think it's the same as it's the same as having to deal with anything you fail, right? Because I failed. I tried to take the test without studying because it was going to change in December. So I took it at the end of December and I bombed it, like I didn't pass it. And so that was almost worse for me. Like I shouldn't have even tried it, because then you're dealing with like, just the whole mind portion of it. Like, can I do it? Can I not do it? Do I, And so what was really good was listening to those encouraging statements that you had. Like, that was really good. I benefited from that. I, stopped and paused and listened to I think there was a recording by, like, I can't remember what they were like. I think that within the 7 day, there were the encouragement word. And
like motivational minutes every day. Yeah.
And just just in general, just addressing that it's like, it's not impossible, you know,
True.
it's a discipline. And, but yeah, but the other thing is that just like, don't try it unless you're prepared. That's the other thing.
That's a good rule.
Because I wasn't prepared, and my husband and I were talking. He's like, "Why did you think you were going to pass for that? You weren't prepared. Like, you studied for 3 days and then you took it. And so why do you think you're not going to? Why do you think you're going to pass? You didn't put in the work." And I was like, "Ah." So, anyways.
That is true. I mean, I really like, that's a common sense approach to say, like, if you're going to invest in the time and the effort, like, let's do it logically. It doesn't take too long, but yeah, it can be done. It's just how you look at it and guide yourself through. So it's not so bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I am very, very proud of how you did. I'm very, very happy. And I know good things are going to continue to come. So this won't be the last time we chat, but I just want to say congrats and thanks for everything.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The test questions were, the test questions, I wanted to share a little bit about that.
Sure.
They, for me in my situation, because it had been years since I did, you know, and I say the Scrum Master role, and that it was, there was a lot of agile, what felt like agile in the test, but you know, but that, I mean, that is what it is. But I could see, because I took the test, remember, in December, and it was a different test than it is today. My opinion. It is very
How
much
so
about,
different? How so?
I believe that the last test was a lot about mechanics. Like I got a lot of the questions about, you are in the controlling process, you know, you're in monitoring controlling, and you are in this process. What process will you go to next? So I expected a lot of that, which I think I got like 4. And so this one was a lot about stakeholder management, communication, and it was all about the unhappy path.
Unhappy what?
Unhappy path.
Oh, unhappy path. Okay.
Yeah, all of it. Like mine was all about what do you do when it breaks? Whereas I think the first one was a lot about where are you in the process? And this one was different. This one was someone's unhappy. What's the best way that you have to address it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good, because we have a new version of the course coming out in like a week, and I just went in, refilmed a ton of stuff, and we put a heavy emphasis on relationships, negotiation, like people interactions, building coalitions, dealing with problems, communication, stakeholder engagement, all that stuff. So yeah, we've been like we're 11 for 11 on the new exam. So and you're 383, I think, the 383rd Accelerator person in 8 months.
That's awesome.
So that's not bad. Yeah. So so we'll show you the stuff, the new stuff, and then if you have like, oh, here's some tweaks, we'll add in tweaks.
Yeah, so I'd be happy to do that. Love that.
That's awesome. Well, I think it's really, really good. I know you got places to go. I just want to say thanks, good job, and you know, let's keep talking. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Thanks.
That's awesome.
You take care.